Sebastián Mejia, co-founder and CSO of Rappi. Rappi always has the technical tech aspect with a human aspect, you know, that's a good way. And I think that's where technology works the best, when you have this humane touch to it. And since we launched the business at the beginning, it was literally us on the streets. It was us delivering, you know. It was us delivering donuts in exchange of a download. It was us taking products from one corner to another, you know. And at the beginning, it was a very small thing. It was a neighborhood type of business, you know. And Rappi still has that hyper-local aspect to it, even though we're present in a lot of markets, 27 cities, 6 countries. But every city, we still see it as a small little neighborhood. So in those neighborhoods, when we were starting, we were actually interacting a lot with consumers, and we were hearing them out a lot. Rappi initially was born it was a supermarket app. So actually you open it and you see only groceries. We were very fortunate to have a button that allowed anyone to order anything, which is, we call it our Antojos button, and it's still there today. And it was amazing because we started seeing what customers were ordering, you know, so it's like this big ear, you know, that allows us to talk to the market. And we were very fast in iterating and incorporating those type of products. So it's not that we were super smart, we were just good listeners. And Rappi started migrating from our supermarket into this home screen app, or this super app with a lot of services, because we were seeing that our consumers were wanting them. Restaurants came about like that. Pharmacies too. Rappi Cash, which is a very popular service for us. You order basically bills to your house. Someone ordered that, you know. Well, you should build first a grocery business in one country and then you expand to another. Even with our previous company, they told us, like, focus on one market and then you expand, and then we're like in 5 continents. We couldn't really do that really well. So I think the only good thing that we learned is to have great people running those businesses, and the ones that are really not showing traction, killing them. We're much better at the first than at the second. Otherwise, you start trying to go in many directions without a real commitment, and that can become challenging, and especially in a company. When we say we're going to open a new market, okay, we're going to go all in that market, with everything that means, with all of the challenges, all of the risks, all of the difficulties, and we don't hesitate. So what we typically do is we maybe every quarter we sit down, the executive team, and we sit down with our board and we say, okay, these are the key strategic initiatives. It's generally better when you have few of them, because that helps you focus. It helps you focus on the key things that you really got to do. And then once we have that very tight, we start attaching to them like measurable objectives. You know, how do we know if this initiative is successful or not? How do we know if we actually are meeting those targets or not? And then we attach an execution plan on how to get there. You know, and we assign owners to those tasks, and we assign responsibilities to us and through the whole team. You know, everyone has a clear goal that they need to achieve, and then we go and execute, and we try to stay on track with those key things that are needed. Also, a good way of keeping track is looking at the right metrics, I think, making sure that you're actually measuring for that specific strategy in the right way makes you simplify a lot. Like in our case, for example, we have so many dashboards, we have so many type of data, you can get flooded there, but if you actually have one dashboard with the key things measured, you know, that I think defining the metric helps you understand a lot how the management and the company thinks. It comes, so this is the strategy, you know, and based on that, this is how we're going to execute. And based on that, you know, there has to be like 1 or 2 North Star metrics that we track. You know, and that metrics should be encompassing of the rest of things. So for example, we look a lot at service, you know. what are the indicators of service? Like the product arrived with the right products, the order arrived with the right products, that the order arrived on time. You know, so you got 2 indicators of service. We look a lot at growth. You know, what is growth? Well, weekly growth. You know, we know that if we grow every week, compounds is north of 20% every month. You know, and that's the pace that Rappi grows. So it's really intense, fast. We look a lot at healthy unit economics, which is very easy to understand. You know, unit economics, what are the revenues, what are the costs associated to it, and those are typically some of the key North Star metrics that is always up there that we're always thinking on. So first, I think you gotta really make sure that you have a partner inside the company that understands your strategy, that understands your vision, and that is gonna be opening doors for you. We were, at the beginning, I remember being very lucky to be able to have someone that was willing to go through an innovative process like this. So trying to find those crazy people with authority in the businesses makes it much, much easier. Sometimes it's the owners of the company that are very open-minded and understands the challenges of not moving, that understand the challenges of not innovating, and that also see the opportunity. In Rappi at the beginning, you know, we were not even working with the first retailer in Rappi, you know. And what helped is making sure that you're moving and you're showing progress, you know. So maybe you don't start with a full range partnership, but you start with a pilot in one store, you know, and then you start seeing a lot of progress, and then you expand it really fast. You gotta do that really fast, otherwise it can be really slow. Advice to have, even in those situations where you're progressively working better with that big company, to have the key decision makers, the owners of the business, the C-levels of the business, to have them on board, because they're the ones that are going to be helpful, removing the bureaucracy and removing the challenges or the slowness that happens maybe at mid-level management, where people are not educated to take so many risks. You know? So being always have support from the top executives of the company to take those risks helps a lot too. So I think with all those tools, it's natural. Then the scaling part is challenging. You gotta have a really good team. I think it sounds very basic, but if you have a good team, the scaling process makes it a whole different beast, because a good person thinks like an owner, a good person goes to another market, he builds the infrastructure, he hires the team, he makes it happen, you know. I think that's the number one thing that I would put up there if you really want to scale globally, to have extremely strong leaders, and then having a product that can actually be adapted to that market. So moving fast on technology is also extremely important. But I think if you have those two things, it's and of course capital to invest, you can actually get started fast.